All right. I'm going to let everybody know right now that I'm going to make a video about my NFL predictions for this year because we all know for a fact that football's coming very soon in a month. And I just want to let everybody know that don't get offended if I say a certain team won't make the playoffs or whatever, or will be good. But personally, I'm really looking forward to this year, man. I'm telling you. So guys, bear with me. My audience is here, so trying to build a little fan base. But yeah, my New England. For those who are not familiar with me that much, I'm a diehard New England Patriots fan, for real. Tom Brady. We hit a little bit of down times though because we lost Aaron Hernandez. We lost Welker. Got rid of a couple of main people, man. But we still got Gronkowski. He'll probably come back like in week 3 or so, if that. But he'll be around. We got Michael Jenkins. We got Michael Jenkins. We got Danny Amendola. Don't forget that kid. Edelman. I think Edelman should be like the number 3 receiver, the slot, because I think Michael Jenkins can still contribute. I think he should be like the number 2 receiver on the depth chart behind Amendola. Amendola could be the main starter. Jenkins could be like the possession receiver, But yeah, got Gronkowski. I think we signed Adrian Wilson. That's going to be a big boost to our defensive back position. And I think I'm really high on the San Diego Chargers this year. I don't know why. I think this is the year that they try to break out of that three-year messed up, not making the playoffs thing, North Turner's gone. They already got rid of Vincent Jackson, Darren Sproles before this, but I think they're going to be good. I mean, Dwight Freeney adds a big leadership to that team. I think Malcolm Floyd's going to step up this year and be their number 1 go-to guy along with Gates. I think Daniel Alexander is going to keep on improving, and Rivers is going to get back on track. And I think they might make the wild card seeding, in my opinion. Speaking of like playoff caliber teams, I think that teams like the 49ers, the Broncos. Yes, the Broncos are better than my team this year, I think. I think the Texans are going to step up as well. I think they're going to be like the number 2 seed. I picked them as number 2. The records, I got to go with Denver, 13-2 or 14-2, number 1 in the AFC. Number 2, got to go with Houston at 12-4, 13-3, because I'm really high on the Texans this year as well. They got Ed Reed. They picked up Ed Reed, so yeah. I think I'm going to put my Patriots at number 3 because, we are going to take a little bit of a step backward this year. I think we are. But we're going to be like 12-4, probably tied, but 3. Now, the AFC North is a very tricky one, okay? It's very tricky for me because that division is so competitive. No offense to the Browns, but it seems like it's always between the Steelers, Ravens, and Bengals every damn year. Andy Dalton needs to step up a little bit. He's pretty good. He's a little bit too conservative at times as well. If they want to get to the next level as being the legit team in the AFC North, they have to win the playoff game at least once. I mean, every time they go into the playoffs, they lose in the opening round. They got to step up. Guys? I mean... And then there's, for Steeler fans out there who are going to get angry at me for saying I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year, please understand where I'm coming from, okay? I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. I think they still are like a legit team. They're not mediocre. They're definitely not mediocre. They have a good history. They won 6 Super Bowls. They still got Ben Roethlisberger. They re-signed Plexico Burress. They got William Gay. They have Antonio Brown as their number 1 guy now as receiver. They got rid of Mendenhall. And Harris. Speaking of getting rid of players, Harrison's on the Bengals now. But I do think if Dalton stays consistent and the running game keeps continuing to improve, and they start getting over the hump in the playoffs, I think they're probably the best team in that division. And then there's Ravens fans, and I have a long history with arguing a lot with a lot of Raven fans because they hate the fact that they're always being overlooked, which I can understand. They're a very good, talented football team, but they lost a lot of players, man. But yeah, I think they are going to be in the playoffs this year. So my predictions are my gut feeling for Denver 13-3 or 14-2. Houston 13-3. New England 12-4. Cincinnati 10-6. Baltimore 9-7. And yes, I'm gonna put the Chargers in there as the 6th seed. They're my breakout team this year because they got a good head coach that has a good amount of history with quarterbacks. Rivers is still capable of making good throws down the field when his receivers get open and when they're blocking right for him. See, people criticize Phillip Rivers, but they don't realize he has arguably the highest quarterback rating of any of the Charger quarterbacks they ever had. I mean, I understand, but here's the thing: you can't throw the football accurately without a good offensive line. Okay, you really can't. You really can't. And those are my playoff seedings. The Broncos number 1, the Texans number 2, the Patriots number 3. I got the Bengals number 4. I got the Ravens 5, and I got the Chargers 6. And the Steelers missing it by they're going to be 9-7 as well, I think, but they're going to miss it by much because it's going to be a tiebreaker with the Chargers or Bengals. So yeah. But I don't really. I mean, the Dolphins and Chiefs are getting improved too, but I don't think they're going to be like 8-8 at best, maybe not. But I think the Chargers are still there, number 6. That brings me to the NFC seeding. I think the Niners are going to be probably the best team in the whole league this year. For all the talk about the Broncos being the Super Bowl favorites, I think the 49ers are pretty much going to be the team with the highest seeding. I mean, they're amazing. They're the most balanced, complete team that I've ever seen in a while. Okay, they have good offense. Colin Kaepernick is unbelievable. They got rid of Moss, but Michael Crabtree and Anquan Bolden's going to contribute for him. Vernon Davis is great. He's pretty underrated. I like Frank Gore. They got some defensive players too. I think Nnamdi Asomugha went there too, but yeah. I got the Niners number 1 at 14-2, probably 15-1 because they're so damn good. I'm really feeling the Niners. The Packers number 2. I'm putting Green Bay at number 2 because for all the talk about the Falcons being the second best team along with the Niners and Seahawks, Atlanta has to improve on defense first. They always seem to give up the big plays in the wrong times. So remember what happened in Seattle last year in San Francisco in the NFC title game in the NFC divisional playoffs. They can't seem to finish games tightly. So I got to go with at number 3. I'm going to put the Saints. I think they're an elite team still. As long as you have Drew Brees and Sean Payton on your team, you're pretty much all right. 12-4, 13-3. Saints, number 3 seed. Number 4 seed. Here we go. The NFC East. This division's always a toss-up, and it's always a tricky one because these teams just get so caught up in awkward moments with the media. It's so hard to predict because these teams are so popular from what I think, and that's the reason why they flounder because they're so worried about what people say about them. Let's see, the Redskins. I like RG3. Don't get me wrong. This kid's amazing. He is a hell of a quarterback. He's very talented, but my thing is, will the injury hold him up a little bit? Because this year, I think there's going to be a bit of a sophomore slump. That's just me, okay? I don't think Russell Wilson's going to have the sophomore slump because they have more of a balanced team than the Redskins do. The Redskins' defense is a little inconsistent. They always give up the big passing plays. So my thing is, I believe oh my God, this is so hard. I do think the Eagles are probably currently not pretty much legitimately the worst team in that division, but they are currently. But if I had to say who has the best chance of dethroning the Skins, even though it's a really weird division, my guess would be, call me crazy here, I think the Dallas Cowboys, man. Romo's taking the leadership role to take the pressure off of him, saying he's going to prove everybody wrong. I think they have a good team this year, man. They didn't do much in the free agency, but I'm interested to see what the Cowboys can do. 6-year extension's a good way to motivate them, you know? I think they're going to have what it takes. Damn. But my gut feeling, as much as I think I could see the Cowboys winning that division this year at 10-6, my gut feeling is I'm going with the Giants. Eli Manning, 2 Super Bowl rings. Tom Coughlin, a hell of a coach. 2 great receivers, Nix and Cruz. Justin Tuck and all that stuff. I'm going to go with the Giants. Yeah, I'm going with the Giants. 4 seed. And the final 2 seeds in the NFC, I'm going with the Falcons at number 6 because I'm so sick and tired of people overrating the Falcons. Their defense isn't that good. I think 11-5. Like, the NFC's going to have a very strong wild cards this year, I think. Seattle, 5th seed, 11-5. Which that pretty much means, if my playoff corrections are right, the wild card round would pretty much feature the Seahawks visiting the Giants in the Meadowlands, and then from the AFC side with the 4 seeds, it would see the Ravens visiting their division rival Bengals in the Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, and then the Chargers would visit my Patriots as we'd be number 3 and they'd be number 6. And then I think, Falcons and Saints, another good division rivalry game, man. But yeah, my picks I picked the Falcons to beat the Saints in an upset in that round. I would pick the Seahawks over the Giants, but I wouldn't rule the Giants completely out because they always find a way to win. But my gut feeling, Seattle is going to win. I picked my Patriots to pretty much not blow them out, but pretty much fairly win by at least 10 points or so. And then I think I would pick the Bengals to finally get over the hump over the Ravens. That pretty much means the Bengals will travel to Denver. I picked the Denver to win. What's new? I got the Patriots, and then that means the Patriots will be heading to Houston to take on the Texans. I think they would upset the Texans because of playoff experience. I have since the Seahawks I predicted to beat the Giants, they would visit Green Bay to take on the Packers in Lambeau Field in a very cold afternoon. But I think Seattle, they're going to be the team of destiny this year, so I'm going to pick them over the Packers as an upset as well. And last but not least, the Falcons against the Niners. I'm going with the Niners again. The Niners. Which leads me to the 2 conference championship games. New England would travel to Denver, and then San Francisco would host their division rival Seattle Seahawks in a very hard-fought game. A battle between the Seahawks and Niners would be pretty much about the defense and the NFC side, and I think the AFC side with the Patriots and Broncos, because of Manning and Brady's history, it would be about the offense, despite the cold. It would be a very cold day in New England. In Denver. Yeah, Denver. But yeah, as much as I love to see my boys go back, I think Denver's going to beat us. I got Seattle beating the 49ers in an upset in overtime to head to the Super Bowl, and the Broncos and Seahawks are my Super Bowl picks. Broncos and Seahawks, and what do you know? I got the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl for the first time ever, and a history-making overtime win for the first time in Super Bowl history over the Broncos. I love an underdog story, if it makes sense. And I think I see them beating the Broncos and winning their first world championship ever, making the Seattle fans proud, along with Richard Sherman's loudmouth. But I like the guy. He's an asshole, but he can play. But yep, those are my predictions. I think Peyton Manning's going to win the MVP. I think Eric Weddle's going to win the Defensive Player of the Year. Brady Offensive Player, etc., you name it. But I'm going to get off now, so that's my predictions. So tell me what you think, and hit like and subscribe. Bye.